Support for this podcast comes from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative, connecting communities with the resources, infrastructure, and networks to ensure a vibrant local free press.
From KVPR in Fresno, this is Central Valley Daily. It's Tuesday, July 15th. I'm Elizabeth Arkalian. Amid fears of immigration raids, a Central Valley store owner is trying to make sure his customers don't go hungry.
We see everybody here like a family. Every guy come inside the store, we see him like his family.
Coming up, the story of how a storekeeper is bringing a sense of safety to his neighbors. But first, these news headlines. The Trump administration's decision to freeze billions of dollars in education grants has prompted a multi-state lawsuit. California's Rob Bonta is among nearly 24 state attorneys general filing the legal action. Bonta says in California, more than $900 million in federal education funding is frozen, jeopardizing after-school programs, teacher prep, and support for students learning English.
It's unconscionable, unlawful, and can't go unchecked, and it won't. With this lawsuit, my colleagues and I are asking the court to immediately block any attempt to withhold or delay this funding.
The Trump administration claims some grant programs have been, quote, grossly misused to subsidize a radical left-wing agenda. That includes scholarships for undocumented students and programs related to LGBTQ plus inclusion efforts. President Trump's attempted ban on birthright citizenship would have a huge impact here in California. Josie Wong with our newsroom partner LAist says one civil rights group is behind a new class action lawsuit.
The Asian Law Caucus is helping to represent a class of newborns who'd be denied citizenship under Trump's order because their parents have temporary or no legal status. Executive Director Artie Coley says that would create an underclass of stateless people.
These children could be denied basic rights like health care. They could be barred from voting, even holding certain jobs.
A federal judge last week certified the class and temporarily blocked the ban from taking effect. The Trump administration has until Thursday to appeal the ruling.
That was Josie Wong with our newsroom partner LAist. The Catholic Diocese of Fresno says it will not wade into U.S. politics. The clarification follows a change in policy from the IRS that allows houses of worship to endorse political candidates. The change broke with decades of precedent. But the diocese, which represents more than 1 million Catholics in the valley, says the church's role in politics remains unchanged. Instead, the diocese directed parishioners to its own so-called Guide on Faithful Citizenship, which instructs the faithful to vote in accordance with church values. California has reached a clean energy milestone. State officials reported new data Monday that shows 2/3 of the state was powered by renewable energy sources in 2023. That's up 7% from the previous year and 25% from a decade ago. The state also added 7,000 megawatts of clean energy capacity last year. That's enough to power roughly 7 million homes. The clean energy expansion comes as the state moves to eliminate all oil drilling by 2045, despite challenges from Republicans and the Trump administration. Fresno's director of aviation has died, the city announced on Monday. Henry Thompson held the position since 2021. During his tenure, he oversaw a $150 million expansion of Fresno Yosemite International Airport. That includes a new terminal set to open in November, as well as the addition of several new routes to other major cities. Thompson had more than 3 decades of aviation experience. The city did not provide a cause of death.
If you start your day with Central Valley Daily and are looking for a companion program in the afternoon, there's All Things Considered. Hi, I'm Sarith Hawk. Each weekday afternoon, I'm on KVPR's broadcast, bringing you the day's local and national news. Join me for All Things Considered, weekdays from 3:30 to 6 on KVPR. You can also stream us online at kvpr.org, through your smart speaker, and on the KVPR app.
And now to our main story. As immigration and customs enforcement continue to ramp up across California, fear is spreading through communities, including in the small Tulare County city of Dinuba. That's where one grocery store owner is doing more than just ringing up customers. He's delivering food right to their doors. Madi Bolanos from our news partner KQED and the California Report has this story.
Inside the Dinuba Food Center, customers trickle in and out. Behind the counter is Mohammed Saeed. He's smiling, multitasking, and handing out bags of ice.
We see everybody here like a family, nice client, you know. Every guys come inside the store, we see him like his family.
Saeed opened the store back in March. In towns like Dinuba, immigrants make up much of the workforce. Now, stepped-up immigration enforcement isn't just stoking fear, it's threatening small businesses like Saeed's and putting entire neighborhoods on edge. Especially for one of Saeed's customers, a lady who asked us not to use her full name.
Se ven en redes sociales, en todo eso, todo lo que está pasando.
She says with everything that's going on, she thinks the service Saeed offers is safer than going to the store. That way, she says, they don't risk being swept up by immigration agents. A lady is from Oaxaca, Mexico. She and her husband were both working in the fields.
Por todo lo que está pasando, por los compañeros y todos, pues la verdad, pues tienen miedo.
She says they stopped working when reports of raids at workplaces first broke out. They're scared, but they have 3 kids and they know they'll need to return to work eventually. It was someone like a lady who gave Saeed the idea to launch a home delivery service for his customers.
And she said the reason they're scared to go outside, that's the reason. That's why after when I take the delivery for him, I was thinking to do something, not just for the store, like for all the clients we have in him here and for all the neighborhood.
He's now making up to 40 deliveries a day using his store's truck and rotating staff.
I know we wasted a lot of gas last time, and probably right now I'm gonna hire another worker for the delivery. But money back, you know.
He says when you do good, it makes its way back to you. Saeed moved to California from Yemen when he was 13. He lived in Bakersfield, and now he's in Fresno, where his family runs several food centers. But he opened this Dinuba store on his own, and he remembers how much the neighborhood showed up for him when he first opened.
See, we just want to help you. We're so happy to you guys gonna open new business here. That's why I'm not gonna forget that, you know.
Nearly 39% of California's small businesses are immigrant-owned, according to the American Immigration Council. Many of them are rooted in neighborhoods like this one, providing essential services and jobs amid rising fear.
If the IC come over here, for sure, like most of the people, they're not gonna go outside, they're not gonna go shopping, they're not gonna do nothing, they're just gonna be in home. And this is gonna be bad for him and bad for us.
Saeed warns if more businesses like his shut down, it's not just families who lose. It's entire communities and the local taxes they rely on. For now, Saeed says he'll keep delivering groceries and doing what he can.
We're gonna keep doing it till everything be all right.
For the California Report, I'm Madi Bolanos in Dinuba.
And Madi joins me now to discuss her reporting a little further. First, Madi, I'm curious about how you discovered Saeed's story. Did someone from the community reach out to you?
No, actually, I found an ad for the service posted on Instagram. It read, "Due to recent immigration news, many families feel anxious or afraid to shop. To support our community, Dinuba Food Center now offers home delivery in Dinuba." So I called the number of the digital flyer, but didn't get a response. I decided to drive down to the center, and that's where I met and interviewed Saeed.
Amazing. So when you were speaking with Saeed, did he say how much business had declined for him when concerns over immigration raids started rising in that area?
So he didn't give a specific number, but he said foot traffic at the store had died down dramatically, and he wasn't sure what to make of it until one of his most loyal customers called and explained that she was nervous about being out because of the ICE raids in other parts of the state, and that's where the idea for this service was born.
So his business might have been down, but home delivery can also be really time intensive, and we have to think about the cost of gas too to deliver groceries. Did he talk at all about how long he thinks this business model is sustainable, or is this more of a short-term solution?
Yeah, he acknowledged that the business might take some financial losses due to the program, but he didn't seem too worried about it. For him, he says it's important for him to show up for the community that he serves, and he genuinely believes that that money will come back to him in different ways. And I think just to emphasize how passionate he is about this service is that he's actually considering hiring an additional person in order to do these delivery services. So he's really committed to it, I think, despite any financial losses that might come of it.
Wow. And you mentioned in your reporting he's an immigrant himself, right? So he can certainly relate to people who are trying to acclimate here in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're seeing images of immigration enforcement operations in other parts of the state. Now, while you were in Dinuba doing this reporting, give us an idea of how things felt there. Did it feel like recent immigration actions across the state were causing any sort of anxiety in the community?
It definitely did. The street where the Dinuba Food Center is located really felt like a ghost town. I popped into an ice cream shop right across from the grocery store and met the owner, Jose. He told me because of the recent immigration raids, business had really slowed down. He said it was worse than during the pandemic. And if it continued that way, he'd likely have to shut down his business.
Wow. So for those who don't know, Madi, you are actually from the Fresno area, and you were a reporter at KVPR before you were at KQED. So what was it like for you to come back to the Central Valley for this reporting? Is that something that appealed to you, being from this area and witnessing, all these changes with immigration at this time?
Yeah. Being from the Central Valley and a reporter, I'm deeply aware of kind of the lack of attention or minimal attention that's given to these areas at times. So it's super important for me to come back and tell the stories of this area, especially the stories that shine light on the community. You hear about the immigration raids and you hear about really terrible things that are happening in this part of the state. And so when I found this story about someone who wanted to do right by his community, that really spoke to me. Especially, I have family members in Dinuba, and they are all parts of mixed documented or mixed status documentation. So yeah, it hits home on a different level. And I thought that especially with all the dark news that is out there, it would be nice to show a part of the Central Valley that is trying to do something for its community.
Madi Bolanos with KQED and co-host of the California Report. Great to talk to you again.
Thanks for having me.
And that's today's show. Do you enjoy listening to Central Valley Daily? Support the show by leaving a 5-star rating in your podcast app. Today's episode was produced by Jonathan Linden and KVPR with support from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative. I'm Elizabeth Arkalian. Find the latest local news anytime at kvpr.org.
These days, there's so much news, it can be hard to keep up with what it all means for you, your family, and your community. The Consider This podcast from NPR features our award-winning journalism. 6 days a week, we bring you a deep dive on a news story and provide the context and analysis that helps you make sense of the news. We get behind the headlines. We get to the truth. Listen to the Consider This podcast from NPR.